Can you see the slides? Yes, can you see the slides? I hope you are able to see it. So we are talking about organizational structures. As I said, today we'll discuss about exactly what are the various organizational structures. By now we have understood what exactly the meaning of organizational structure and what are the various terms, terminologies which are associated with organizational structure, like what is flat, what is tall, what is width, what is height, and what is the line of command or the chain of authority. So span of control, so many such terms we have discussed. Now let us begin with exactly what are the various types of organizational structures which are prevalent in the organization. So when I'm talking about organization, means it can be an industry, it can be a service sector, or it can be educational institute, or it can be a healthcare center, or a transportation company. So, or any sort of organization, company or firm, they make use of some kind of structure, organizational structure for their human resource. It's basically focusing on the employees, the managers, and the policymakers in their hierarchy of that structure. So to begin with, as you can see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five structures are mentioned here. Organizational structures can be of various types. Of course, I'm writing here 5, but maybe you can find a few more structures if you will search some literature. The reason is that these are the primary structures, but maybe there are some modifications and some kind of improvisation in that, and you can find some other name. But primarily, these are the structures which are used. So they are called functional organization, product organization, matrix organization, modified matrix, then pure project organization. Then there is another, I think I missed here, that is departmental organization, departmental project organization. Okay, so that will come up, don't worry. So let us see what are these organizational structures, their pros, cons, and or what kind of organizations they are suitable, things like that. Okay, so am I audible to you? Okay, so to begin with, functional organization. Okay, so this is the very basic and very what I can say, logical form of organization structure. Why I'm saying logical? Because when you are studying something, you will definitely try to divide your workforce based on their specialization, based on somewhat like what you call the division of labor. So if somebody is good at finance, you will keep him in the finance department. Somebody good at manufacturing, you will keep him in production manufacturing. Someone good in design will be good at, means they have some qualification, they have some specialization, expertise in that. So you'll try to divide your workforce based on the functionalities. So that's why it's called functional organization. So as you can see in the figure below, a very simple structure is given here. Suppose there is a GM under which there are many managers, right? So manager finance, manager R&D, manager production, personnel means your HR, then manager marketing, and below them also there may be other levels or ranks of the structure that is not shown here, but primarily you can see this is divided based on functions, right? Based on expertise, specialization, right? So that is the functional organization. So that's why I said it's the oldest and maybe the most logical form of dividing the workforce just based on their specialization. So a functional organization is the most common type of structure. This is where the organization is divided into smaller groups based on its special functions such as IT, finance, or marketing. This departmentalization allows greater operational efficiency because the employees have their skills and knowledge to be shared within the group. The basis of this functional organization structure is an arrangement where a worker has different managers for different areas of organizational operation. In a functional organizational structure, the reporting relationships are grouped based on the specialty or functional areas. Separate areas are established to take care of different concerns, right? So it's very simple form of organization. As I'm saying, they are divided based on their functionality. So whatever expertise or specialization you have developed, using that, you will be allocated to that department, right? So finance, so you'll deal with all the accounts, budgeting, finance statements, balance sheet, salary statements, everything. So that is finance. Suppose someone is good at research and development, right? He's having some expertise in doing research, so he will belong to R&D. So what happens? We'll come to the pros and cons. There you will find that they try to develop some kind of isolation, in the sense that I used a term called silos few classes back. So this is one of the demerit of this kind of structure, is that silos may develop, right? So interfunctional communication may become less, right? Suppose the communication between finance and R&D may be the least one. They hardly bothers about what is happening in R&D, and R&D just focus on their work. And so the kind of silos or kind of isolation or working in isolation can develop in this kind of structures, because you are dividing people, a kind of birds of the same feather, you are just flocking together. So that is one of the disadvantages, of course. And of course, there are some advantages. So when they work in team, they can share because they are from the same field. They can learn, they can share their knowledge. So that way, they also develop a better specialization. So we'll come to the advantage and disadvantage of this kind of structures. Okay, so these are advantages of functional organization. The team is managed by an experienced person with a high ability and skills who can adequately understand and review the entire work. Suppose there is a GM for marketing, GM for production. So he must be highly skilled and expertise in that manufacturing or in the marketing. So he can handle and he can properly make decisions or guide their team working under him or her. So that is one of the advantages, that we are dividing based on functional, and that team which are of the same specialization will work in a better way. The team members work with other people in the field, and it allows sharing of thoughts and knowledge. This is the point I was talking about. When all the people of same expertise work together, suppose IT or production or finance. So they are all expertise in their fields, and they work together and they solve the problems together. They share their knowledge and expertise. So that way, people gains more knowledge, and they try to develop a better skill, and they flourish. The staffers have the chance to get promoted within their functional areas, which can be a reason to them to stay long term. The company is getting the advantage of their expertise and knowledge. So we are talking about the advantages of these kind of structures, functional structure. So there's the second thing is that the staffs or the people who work in this kind of functional organization, they get a better chance to promote because they enhance their own skills. Suppose someone from marketing, you forcibly put him in finance, right? You don't expect that he will flourish or he will enjoy the work. If you are in the same field in which you are getting educated or getting skilled, so obviously you will work better in that particular field. So there are more chance that you will prove yourself, your performance will be good, and you'll get promoted compared to if you are put in a different function forcibly. So when some employee flourishes or enjoys the work, gives his best to the organization, the company in fact is getting the advantage of that expertise or knowledge. Right? This really happens. So as you can understand the same thing, suppose you have just mixed up the specialized people in a wrong place, right? You can understand what will happen to that particular organization. Nobody will be happy, nobody will work properly because they do not have that expertise or know-how, and you are just forcibly telling them that you do the marketing job, whereas you are a finance person. So that kind of things should not happen. So to get the best out of them, they should be given a proper work environment or work culture by sharing their knowledge, by improving themselves, and that way the company gets benefited actually. Okay, so this advantage. The next one is because of people's expertise, the workers with specialized skills can perform tasks quickly, efficiently, and with more confidence, while reducing of work-related mistakes. As I said, you are doing the same job over a long period of time, so you become specialized in it. So there is a very less chance of making some kind of mistakes. But if you are given to some other work which you are not good at, so you will commit some mistakes. The clear nature of the career path within the functional unit makes it possible for employees to be highly motivated to advance their careers as they move up within the hierarchy. This will help them aiming for advancement. Okay, so this thing we have already discussed, right? So once you are doing your own area of interest, so there are high chance that you will get motivated, you will perform well. So there are more chance of career advancements or promotions. So these are all good things for the employee as well as to the organization. This can be an ideal structure for small businesses that focus on one product or service, because one can maximize performance by encouraging peer cooperation among different units at various levels of management through supervision and coordination. Specialization leads to operational efficiency and enhances productivity levels. So the key word here for functional organization is specialization. Right, that is the keyword. The reason is that you are doing the same job or same kind of task or function over a long period of time, and it is also in line with your education and skills that you have developed. So that way it gives the best out of you, less chance of committing mistakes, and company also get benefited. So this is the maximization of the performance, right? At the same time, you are getting cooperation from your peer because they are also from the same field. They can share their knowledge and expertise. So at this way, there is more chance of your promotion, and you can go up in the hierarchy of the management, and that is the advantage that is considered as an advantage of this. Now, next, I think we'll come to the disadvantages of the organizational structure. So, what can be the demerits or cons of these kind of structures? The functional organization may have unhealthy competition working with the other areas. This is the point I was talking about, silos, right? There may be a lack of understanding as to how significant that specific are to the company. In one example, there may be a request from the marketing department which may not be prioritized in order to attend to the concerns, right? So this is the biggest disadvantage. What happened? These functionalities which are of similar nature, similar function, they will have a kind of boundary or kind of isolation. They will be isolated from other functionalities. So if all functionalities they work in that fashion, then maybe it is not in the best interest of the organization, right? There will be very few communications among them, very few sharing of the data or concerns. So the example is cited here. For example, marketing people get some idea from the market that for this particular service or product, we need to have this kind of feature, right? Some design change, let us say, it is required. Marketing people came to know, and they communicated maybe that to some other department that you to make these changes in the design or product development that will help it, right? Suppose that department does not take that seriously and does not incorporate that, so marketing people will face problems in the market, because ultimately it is the product that is coming out of that manufacturing plant or assembly line that they will sell in the market, but they are not able to convince it to the customers because they don't have that feature, because nobody is listening to them, let us say. There is no kind of collaboration or cooperation among the different functionalities, right? The design people are thinking we are giving the best design. No need to take the input from marketing. Or maybe the production people thinking that this is the best product we can manufacture. There are many such conflicts and kind of disputes happen among these functionalities in real life, and that is one of the disadvantages, and that lead to the kind of isolation or silos. There can be kind of ego classes between the managers of different functionality, and they do not cooperate. See, after all, they are all human beings, and they all with egos and all these kind of things. So these things happen, and in real life, actually, this kind of structure may lead to this kind of isolation and conflicts and issues. Another disadvantage of functional organization structure is that these functional groups may not be able to communicate more often, which decreases flexibility and innovation. Again, similar to the first one, here it is that there is less communication among themselves, right? For example, as I gave, R&D people are highly isolated. They don't know what these finance or marketing people are up to. They are not bothered about what the other departments are doing. So lack of communication. So when there is lack of communication, the company goal may be something, company objective may be something, but you are working in another direction. So that may happen because you are working in isolation kind of thing, and there is a lack of communication. So it decreases the flexibility and innovation. You are not working as a single unit for the same goal. So that may happen. When a company uses this type of structure, it groups its people according to their knowledge and skills, which help them become specialists on that field. It also requires a management system which allows promotion, development, and visibility of skills of people in each functional area. Okay, it's not that much, disadvantage, but anyway, it is here. The reason is that when you are adopting this kind of structure, you have to continuously judge the performance of the people in each and every function, department, and you have to allow them for development and promotion, etc. So assessment of their skills from time to time need to be done. So maybe you can consider that as a disadvantage. Management issues may arise because it is more bureaucratic and the functional organizations are not accountable to each other, and the poor horizontal coordination within the department may occur. Employees' motivation is greatly affected by lack of innovation and restricted views of organizational goals. Okay, so this is also another disadvantage at kind of philosophical level, or maybe the human psychological level, you can understand. Management issues may arise because it is more bureaucratic. Okay, so where these functional organizations are really applied, they are mostly preferred by bureaucratic organizations. Means if we look into the old fashioned government departments or organizations, you will find this kind of structure. There will be a department for HR, there is a department for each and every functionalities, right? So in typical bureaucratic structures or even military structures, you used to have these kind of functional organizations. So here what happens, there can be some kind of issues may arise because it is more bureaucratic and the functional organizations are not accountable to each other. And the poor, this is also very interesting, that accountability, right? Accountability means, suppose we have divided the whole organization into various functions, right? So marketing, production, design, finance, like that. Now, suppose there is some failure takes place. The product that is being produced and sold in the market faced a failure. Right? Let us talk about some automobile company. Right? A particular model failed badly in the market. Right? Failed. So now coming to the analysis or introspection of that, why that failed at the company top management level. So they'll look why this product failed. Right? There will be some kind of analysis. Now here comes the question of accountability. right? Accountability. Now, when this accountability comes, we can understand these departments or the functionalities. No one will take the responsibility, right? For example, the same example I'm giving, that a particular model of car failed in the market, and now there is some introspection or analysis that why it failed, right? So there is a high-level meeting, and they try to analyze and bring all the heads of all the departments, right? Marketing head is there, production head is there, design development head is there, finance head is there, right? So all the heads are there. Now they are analyzing. Now, can you can you believe that anyone out of these heads will accept that it is our fault? No, it will not happen, right? What the marketing head will say, why the product not sold in the market, they will pass on the buck, that okay, the product was not nicely designed, right? The kind of features it offered is outdated and nobody taked it. I mean, liked it. So marketing people will say. Now design and development will be asked, why you have not designed a nice product and all that. They will say, we got the feedback from the marketing that this is the best one, and at the same time finance people also told us that we have this limitation, we cannot use these kind of things. So like they will just pass on. Then production people will say, whatever we got the design, we produced it, we don't have any fault. So this happens in case of functional organizations. When something related to accountability comes, they just pass on the buck, because there are different functionalities, and they also have some kind of isolation or silos or miscommunication. We already talked about it. So this is likely to happen, that as you can see, this first line of this paragraph, management issues may arise because it is more bureaucratic and the functional organization are not accountable to each other, and the poor horizontal coordination within the department occurs. So this is horizontal coordination. Horizontal is cross-functional. That is a horizontal line, right? They are at par. They are, you can see that figure. All that blocks are at the same level. So there is no horizontal coordination. Means across the functionalities, there is lack of communication, lack of collaboration, or kind of unity is not there. So that is one of the disadvantages. This is the keyword is accountability, right? So no one will take the accountability. Another weakness of the functional organization structure is there could be a lack of unit coordination. This means that though the functional units can perform with higher level of efficiency, however, there could be difficulty working well with each other. Thus, cooperation. It is also almost the same thing as I talked about. There is lack of horizontal coordination, right? Horizontal coordination means cross-functional. So these are some of the disadvantages of functional organization, but still it is prevalent in the old-fashioned organizations, or maybe traditional organizations like government, state government, central government organizations, or even some public sector units. They also make use of this kind of functional organization. You go to any public sector company, you will find a department for this, the department for that. So this way they divide the workforce based on their nature of job, division of labor or functionality, right? So this is the first one. Now come to the second category, or second, class of organizational structure. This is called product organization, right? Product is mostly prevalent in private sector companies. They come out of this functional structure. They thought, no, we have different areas of business, different areas of specialization or product mix categories. So they divide their workforce based on this. For example, these conglomerates, they have different business areas, right? They are dealing with food products, they are dealing with pharmaceutical products, maybe cosmetics, maybe health products, maybe IT, maybe tech. So depending on their business area, they divide their workforce. So that is called a product organization. So compared to functional organization, here you can see you are not dividing based on the specialization or the functionality. Rather, you are dividing based on the product type, right? Nature of the product. So the product may be a physical product, or it may be any service also. For example, let us take up these companies like Mahindra. They may have a division for automobiles, right? They may have a division for IT. They may have a division for logistics services or any other business they are doing. Similarly, Reliance, right? They may have a manager for their oil business, oil refinery. May have a manager for IT sector. They may have a manager for this FMCG and this retailing. There are so many other divisions they are dealing with. So that kind of organization is called product organization. So you are completely dividing your organization based on the nature of the product or service you are offering, not based on functionalities. But one thing also you should understand, when you are dividing your workforce based on the product, for example, here it is manager food products, right? So below him, see, to manage a kind of industry or organization which is dealing with food products, you need all other functionalities also, isn't it? It is not that only a manager will manage the whole business of food products or pharmaceutical products. You again need all the functionality. Under that category also, you will find there is a finance, there is a production, there is a maybe R&D, maybe the similar thing. What is there in the functionality? Functional organization. The same functions are also required here, but they are divided based on the product line, based on their business sector, right? Suppose you take anyone below them, you will find again there is a bunch of people of different specializations. That's why they are completely dedicated to that product line. Suppose there is a finance people, there is a group of finance people who are under food products, right? Manager food products. They will just deal with that company, means that branch of the main company, that they will deal with only food products. What is the finance related to food products? They will not deal with the finance of other divisions like pharmaceutical division, cosmetic division. So present times you will find many companies which have been diversified into different fields, completely different fields, right? Not related. So they manage in that way. They adopt this kind of product organization. It is not possible to manage that with functional organization. Right? It is preferable for this kind of diversified companies, which are called the conglomerates, means they are like Tata, let us say. So there are different fields of business. So for each and every field, they need a chief, and below him, they need again the same functionalities. They have their own manufacturing, own research, own sales and marketing, own finance, own HR, everything. Okay, so that is a kind of organization which is called product organization. Am I audible to you? Okay, what are the merits of product structure or product organization? What are the merits? Okay, those demerits we found in the functional. Maybe you can take the cue from that. So units which are not working can be closed down easily. Okay, so this is a different thing. Merits of product structure. So when you are dividing your workforce or a whole or workforce or total employees into various divisions, and each division is representing a product or a service, right? Then if some sector is not working properly or particular product you want to stop the business, right? You can close down easily. But in case of functional division, it may not be that easy, right? So here it is completely, you are separating your workforce into complete unit that is dealing with food products or cosmetics or some other. So you can easily close it. You can bring back to your parent organization and you can easily. So this is one of advantage, merits. Each unit can be operated and treated as a separate profit center. So this is also another advantage in terms of finance or kind of profit making. You can divide your whole organization into different profit centers, right? So you can easily track, monitor that whether this particular business is making profit or not. But when it is in a, combined state, it may not be that easy to keep an account of what this particular business is doing. Either it is profitable or it is loss making. But in this way, it is very easy because you have completely divided your organization into these kind of products, right? For example, you have a sector for FMCG goods. It has its own workforce, it has its own assets, its own budget, its own finance and profit. So easily at the end of the year, you can check, okay, this particular business has given me this much in return as profit or in loss. So that way it helps. Otherwise, the workforce, when it is combined, it may not be that easy to understand whether the salary I have paid to these employees, they are doing the work for the whole organization. So how to separate it? So I hope you got the meaning of this. So it is very easy now to understand whether it is a profit center or not. So you can treat that way. It occurs rapid and easy decision making. Again, you are completely delegating the authority and power, responsibility, everything to that particular product line or that particular business division, right? So it is faster. The decision-making process is faster compared to the traditional one. It also gives a lot of independence to the decision maker. Of course, there is the same thing. Individual products get separate attention as per the problems they face. Okay, this is also very interesting. See, suppose you imagine there is a conglomerate who is dealing with food products, FMCG, pharmaceuticals, oils, IT, logistics, supply chain. So if they are not isolated, so you can imagine that there will be different problems in different sectors. But to address those problems, your approach will be different because you are combined as a single unit. Compared to that, when you have completely divided your problems or your sectors, your problems are specific to that problem, that area. Right? So it is easy to handle it compared to the functional one. So this is another merit that individual products get separate attention as per the problems they face. Right? It enables the organization to have a high productivity and efficiency quotient. Okay, it is profitable. There are some demerits also. As each unit operates on its own, organizational goals may not be achieved. Okay, see what happens. You have completely delegated your power, authority, everything to one division. Okay, there will be some chief, and you told him that you look after this division and do all your decisions and everything. You just give me profit. This way it works. Now what happens? There is an organization. There is the parent organization from which these are all branched out. Now this parent organization may have some goals, may have some objectives, right? Maybe financial, maybe social. There are some goals, but these individual divisions may not be may not complement that kind of goal. They may have set a different goal with time. This may happen. So they does not work towards the same objective or towards the same goal. This is one of the demerit. And it has been seen that these individual units, the manager of that, they used to take the decisions as per their preference, means how to make their unit profitable. Right. So with that what happens, sometimes they do something which is against the brand image or kind of policy or objective of the main organization. It happens. Okay, unhealthy competition may exist among the internal business units. Internal business units means divisions, right? Divisions. So there is a division for IT, a division for FMCG products, right? They will be in competition, although they are the branches of the main tree, but still they will have some kind of unhealthy competition, right? Unhealthy. It happens, means among the kind of people at the same level. So a kind of unhealthy competition may exist in terms of competition in profit making, or maybe some other advantages that one section is getting or the other is not getting. So that kind of thing will happen. As it has too many managerial levels, it may hamper the business. Okay. managerial levels. Means one manager is for your branch, for your division, and there is maybe there is some boss in the parent organization, because you are not completely out of your parent organization. There will be another CMD or CEO in the main organization. Right? So this way it is kind of demerit, because there are many levels, so it can hamper. Accounting work and taxes may increase considerably. Okay, so this is one disadvantage. So when you are completely isolating and dividing your business into different sectors or divisions, you may have to give these taxes what do you call it, duplications, right? Tax duplications may happen. So when you are a single unit, the kind of tax calculation and various taxes that you are paying may be less than compared to when you are dividing your organization into different units, and maybe they are completely different business entities with listings. So that way there are some chances that your overall tax will definitely become more compared to the functional structure when you are working as a single unit. Even there are many duplications will also happen. Right? This point may not be here, but yes, it is important. There will be many duplications. Duplications in the sense, the same infrastructure, the same equipment, machines, you may have to purchase several times, because you have different units. Because see, they do not have any communication among themselves. So you are working as a separate company. So you may purchase many equipments or machines which are already available with some other your sister concern, but still you are purchasing it. So there will be duplication of many things. Right? All the units may not be considered as equal. Okay. Marketing individual products may add up to cost significantly. Now, again, compared to a single company, and they have their marketing strategy and expenditure budget for marketing. Right? Now there are several units. Right? But you have to advertise for each and every division. So the marketing cost also increased. The food product will have its own marketing advertisements. The other sectors will have its own advertisements or marketings. So this way the total workforce will also increase. That is one of the demerit. Total workforce will increase. There will be unhealthy competition. There will be duplication of resources. So these are the main demerits of product structure. I think I should stop today here. We'll start the next organization in the next class. Do you have anything to add to this or ask? We have 70 students in the class out of 102. Do you have anything? Any questions?
No.